Almost needs to be struck from the Christian vocabulary.
It does.
Empathy is dangerous. Empathy is toxic. Empathy will align you with hell.
Absolutely.
Sympathy, compassion, yes. Empathy, deadly and dangerous. And this will be controversial. Women are especially vulnerable to this.
Absolutely.
In our churches, women will have empathy for the sinner. They'll have empathy for the rebel. They'll have empathy for the toxic sick person who's gossiping and slandering and being bullied by the spiritual authority of the church. And in their empathy, they'll align with those who are misaligned with God. One of the patterns that we've seen in 25 years of church ministry, the most divisive households are those households where there is a loud, aggressive, Jezebel spirit wife paired with a weak, passive Ahab beta male. Not ungodly for a man to speak into who his wife is friends with.
Absolutely.
Well, ain't that the fly in the ointment, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, we're going to talk about how MAGA and Republicans are trying to turn empathy into sin and just how silly and dangerous that is. We'll talk about Trump trying to continue to use religion as a vessel to control people's minds. And we'll talk about me and how I used to be into the Christian faith and now I'm a non-believer, and some of the reasons how I got there, and break down some reasons why I think you should take a look at religion in general. All that starts right now. Lamont Tyson, Politics of Being Black. Let's get it.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
What's up, everybody? I'm Lamont. If you want to keep up with me and all the things I'm involved with, from my IMDb that ties me to acting to both of my YouTube channels and the podcast, just hit the link beacons.ai/politics of being black. There you can also leave me a voicemail. You can get up with me about anything you want to discuss, and we'll go from there. Ladies, this question is specifically for you, since this fool want to say that y'all are susceptible to empathy and that we should believe empathy is a sin. Let me ask you this, ladies. Would you continue to date a man who seemed excessively self-focused, had an inflated sense of importance, constant need for attention to validate themselves? Would you date a man who believes that men are superior to women, tend to dismiss women's opinions and their contributions to life? Would you continue to date that person, ladies and gentlemen? I think most of you would say no. So my question to you women would be, why is God the exception? Maybe that's controversial, but let's think about it. You go to church every day. No matter how much you pray, no matter how much you do the right thing in life, and it falls short, you're still supposed to get on your hands and knees and say hallelujah. When, if you believe in anybody's faith, if you do the right things, God is going to quote unquote bless you. Pastors all the time run around telling me prayer works. Well, if it works, why are those kids dead that just got shot while they was praying? Why were African American slaves? Why were the natives wiped out if prayer works? No pastor can answer any of these questions. None of them. Because me being a black atheist, I don't believe in none of that. And I don't have a problem if you believe in it. The problem for me comes when you want to take your belief system and make it law and make me and the rest of the country have to live under your specific doctrine. And so we'll go back to old boy talking about empathy is a sin, because the overall narrative of this video is how people use religion to control your mind. So let's take a look at him again, and we'll break this on down.
Empathy almost needs to be struck from the Christian vocabulary.
It does.
Empathy is dangerous. Empathy is toxic. Empathy will align you with hell.
Absolutely.
Sympathy, compassion, yes. Empathy, deadly and dangerous. And this will be controversial. Women are especially vulnerable to this.
Absolutely.
In our churches, women will have empathy for the sinner. They'll have empathy for the rebel. They'll have empathy for the toxic sick person who's gossiping and slandering and being bullied by the spiritual authority of the church. And in their empathy, they'll align with those who are misaligned with God. One of the patterns that we've seen in 25 years of church ministry, the most divisive households are those households where there is a loud, aggressive, Jezebel spirit wife paired with a weak, passive Ahab beta male.
Yeah.
Not ungodly for a man to speak into who his wife is friends with.
Yes. Absolutely.
Who she can hang out with.
Who she's following.
Who she listens to.
Yeah.
Because a husband and wife have to be united. Yeah. Now, I'm not chasing Sharon around policing her friends because my wife is godly and she wants nothing to do with the ungodly.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm telling you, women can be vulnerable to friendships and history and whatever, and it's a husband's job to go.
Well, what the hell are men vulnerable to? Panty draws thrown in your face. If we're talking about the Trump administration, men are vulnerable to not only panty draws, but they're vulnerable to young ass panty draws. Hell, they want their panty draws as soon as the damn girl turns 13. I mean, they might be trying to be in her bedroom the night the clock strikes 13 from her turning 12. I mean, what the fuck is this shit, ladies and gentlemen? As if men don't do things that are bad too. But the point of this video is just talk about how this man is trying to say, and again, he's using religion to control the minds of women because y'all's God says in the good book that men should have authority over women. And I'm paraphrasing how it goes, but they should be the head of the household and all kinds of other stuff that we know is not right. But for some reason, y'all still believe in it. Here's what empathy really means. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings, thoughts, and experiences of another person. It goes beyond sympathy, which he's saying is okay, but empathy isn't. Simply feeling sorry for someone, because empathy involves imagining yourself in their situation and connecting emotionally and intellectually with where they're at. If you have empathy for someone, ladies and gentlemen, you are really putting yourselves in the seat of that person. If it wouldn't have been for so many white women way back in the slavery days having empathy for Big Mama that came in there and took care of the kids, or Uncle Tom who was on the porch cleaning and sweeping dust and just doing everything right, if some of those women didn't feel for us when they seen us getting beat, seen us getting ripped from our families, knew that their husbands was coming out there getting in the back of the slave house, putting their penises in the back of men and women, and then would go back and forth, oh, dirty dick white guys. They felt for us. And they would whisper into the ears of some of these white guys, we need to start giving them rights. And so forth down history. Empathy is having feelings and emotions for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, which this administration does not have and they don't want you to have. And so why would the church not be teaching that empathy is a fucking sin? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna need y'all to wake up. I am perfectly cool if you want to believe in a religion. I'm not cool if you want to use that religion to beat people down, make them intellectually weak, make them not believe in science, and then you want to put that religion as the doctrine of how we should govern. That is not right. Take me, for example. I like Marvel, but am I running around here saying that anybody who looks green or has the potential to turn green, we shouldn't make them angry? That should be the law of the land. If you wear a green damn shirt and you might turn into the Incredible Hulk, it's going to be against the law for you to make them mad. No, I'm not doing that. And you shouldn't be passing laws that have anything to do with religion. And I say that because, not to argue about God, but ladies and gentlemen, when you're talking about God and when we're talking about the thing God allows, there is no pastor who can double speak his way out of what life teaches us versus what the Bible does and what God is supposed to be doing. People get raped every day. You go to the pastor and you say, Pastor, why did God let that happen? The pastor will sit there and out of his mouth say, well, God works in mysterious ways. If I was to rape someone and then I went out and told the police or the courtroom I work in mysterious ways, what the hell you think they're going to do? You think they're just going to say, okay, well, we're going to continue to praise you. Hallelujah. No, they're throwing my ass in jail, especially me as a black man. The only way I could get away with that is if I'm in the Trump administration. So people, think about this. Think about this whole religion thing. I used to be heavy into religion. Then I got out here, started learning life. I accepted science for what it is, for things that you can prove and continuously prove over and over again. I am a believer in the rule of law, the rule of consequences, and science. That's what I believe in. And if we continue to let people not critically question religion, we're going to keep falling for this bull job like this. Take a look at Trump trying to use religion again to beat down people, manipulate people, and all the things I just told you a misogynistic person does.
Thank you to all of the faith leaders, pastors, and patriots who have come to the Museum of the Bible for this historic meeting of the Presidential Commission on Religious Liberty. Under the Trump administration, we're defending our rights and restoring our identity as a nation under God. We will protect the Judeo-Christian principles of our founding. I am delighted to announce that just moments ago, I have personally delivered the Trump Family Bible given to me by my mother. It was used in both my inauguration.
Oh, I can't with this no more. I'm sorry. The Trump Family Bible, if you buy that shit, it's liable to burn up before it get to your house. It's going to be set on fire by hell. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this MFer. Listen to him. He's talking about God and the Trump Family Bible. What has he done that God or Jesus would like? He's locking up immigrants. He's locking up people unlawfully. He's racist. He's covering up for a pedophile. And more importantly, he's covering up for a whole ring that includes banks, police officers, politicians, Democrat and Republicans, who have been to islands where there are no laws, really, and is messing around with underage girls that have been forced to be there. You think God would smile upon that? Why would God protect people like that? Why would God allow that to happen, pastors? And don't give me this shit about God works in mysterious ways and he answers prayers. If he answers prayers, ladies and gentlemen, everybody who plays the lottery would have been one. And don't give me this shit about if it can't have sin, because the only reason we have sin is because God has allowed us to have sin. Folks, think. Like I said, I am okay if you want to believe in your religion, but you can't be forcing your religion as doctrine for other people to live by. And that brings me to my last point. As someone who's Black and is agnostic, atheist, non-believer, whatever you want to call it, it can sometimes be lonely and scary to speak on this hill, because most of us as Black people have been taught from childhood that we have to believe in God, because that's the only thing that has gotten us through all these years of slavery, all these years of prejudice, all these years of persecution, and every damn thing we have to go through. I don't believe none of that now at this point. I believe it's been rule of law, it's been science, it's been fact, and it has been the fight of people who have empathy. I go back to that. It has been the fight of people who feel what we're going through, that say we want to let them have the same rights we have. We want this to be a unified country. And this country was founded on separation of church and state. Sure, Christianity might be the hometown religion, but they wanted you all to be able to practice whatever you want if it didn't harm your neighbor, didn't bother your neighbor, and do it without persecution. It's a problem when you mix church and state, because this is exactly what the founders went through back over there with the Queen. Cardinal was coming in, taking over people, manipulating them with God, start infiltrating the kingdom. And now we see this shit happening here, because you've got Trump and the administration manipulating these people that inject Fox News all day, swear up and down they're Christians, yet watch Fox News and see Black people get beat up. They see the new version of kings and queens, which are these rich billionaires doing people wrong. They see these rich billionaires socializing the government while telling you you can't have none of the government's money. The rich folks, think about that. The rich folks socializing the money from the government and then capitalize on the gains and tell you that socialism is bad. Do you guys really think God, Jesus Christ, you believers, would be for socialism, which benefits everybody, especially the ones in the middle class and poor, to uplift the whole community, or capitalism, which by the Republicans' definition is trickle-down economics, meaning the people at the top sprinkle little pieces of money down for everybody else to get at the bottom? Ladies and gentlemen, have your religion, but not have your religion as law of the land. And for all my Black atheists or atheists in general, please let me know something, because it does get lonely. As a black person who believes like this, I believe in science, I believe in testing, rule of law, and I believe in what can be proven. It gets lonely because we're 14% of the American population. Imagine what percentage a black person who's a non-believer is amongst the population of blacks, probably 2 or 3%. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video. Please comment, subscribe. Please go follow me right here, beacons.ai, politics of being black, ladies and gentlemen. And let's wrap. You can check me out on IMDb. You can check out my podcast. You can definitely check out all my YouTube channels, where one of them I do movie and TV show reviews. This one, you know, I'm all about trying to help save this nation and doing politics. And I'm sick of having to throw my hands up and then put my hands over my face like this, because people like Trump are manipulating religion to keep you at bay. And until that next sexy as hell video, I'm going to give y'all my favorite outro with my girl, bleach blonde, bad built butch. You know who she is, Jasmine Crockett.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.